Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Jalen, aka Social Media Jalen, and this is August's monthly Q&A. Every month over on Instagram, I have my followers ask me questions in things like how to grow on Instagram, how to gain followers, what it's like being a social media manager. So I got lots of good questions to answer this month. Let's dive in. And before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if you missed out on asking me a question, comment down below and I'll be coming back for September. All right, so the first question I got is, how do you write SEO optimized captions for Instagram? And sort of the part two to this, I also got a question saying, if you use the right keywords in your captions, will it boost your engagement? So Instagram has been going through a ton of updates. And one of the updates they've been doing is focusing on SEO and keywords. And they've also added, sort of like TikTok, is if you go to your post and you go to the comments, it has that little search bar with what the term people are searching and if your video pops up underneath that. So the way that Instagram does this is through SEO. Search engine optimization, which is basically those keywords that people type into Instagram looking for certain posts or accounts to follow. So making sure you're integrating this into your captions is the best thing that you can do. Now, they're not certain keywords that you have to include, but think of things like this. So for example, I'm a social media manager, and if I'm posting something relating to tips for growing on Instagram, I'm going to want to put keywords such as Instagram tips, growth, strategy, coaching, social media manager, anything like that to put into my caption and integrate it naturally. That way, if people are searching for tips on how to grow on Instagram in the search bar, my post hopefully pops up. So the best thing that I can do is have a caption with a format, have a hook, have a few sentences for an explanation where you add the SEO keywords and then add a call to action and hashtags. So yes, having SEO is very important because the more SEO and keywords you have in your caption, the better chance it is to show up on the Explore page or the Reels tab, which would boost your engagement in the end. All right, the next question I got is, what color pattern are you posting on your grid? So if you're not following me over on Instagram, go follow me over on Social Media Jalen. And I am very well known for posting in like this aesthetic grid pattern. So the grid that I'm following right now is a checkerboard, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. So the pattern that I'm following is burgundy, then a darker wine color, then burgundy. Then I do an image, pink, and an image. And then it repeats after that, back to burgundy, wine, and burgundy. And these are all my brand colors. I don't post in this pattern specifically to be aesthetic. Mostly it just makes my life easier because if I'm going on and I'm like, okay, what am I gonna post for today? Okay, it has to be burgundy. Maybe I should do a carousel with the burgundy colors. Or I'm like, oh, it's an image. Maybe I should do a reel cover with an image. It helps my life stay more organized, and plus it's just easy to keep everything nice and tidy on my Instagram feed. But there are a ton of different grids that you can follow when posting on Instagram. The easiest one is a checkerboard where you do two interchanging patterns. So you could do black, then white, then black, then white, for an example, or you can do an image, then a solid color, image, solid color. Some people do rows where they have one color as a row, one color as a row, and one color as a row, but there's lots of different things you can do. Having an aesthetic feed doesn't have to be posted in a pattern. As long as you're using your brand colors, it'll all coordinate in the end. All right, so the next two questions I got are in regards to my makeover. So I am the creator of the Instagram Makeover, which is my signature service, which involves essentially making over someone's Instagram, giving them branding suggestions, doing custom Canva templates, and creating a new Instagram strategy for them. So somebody asked me, when creating my makeover, do I create the first 6 posts for somebody? So I don't necessarily create your first 6 posts, but I do create a ton of content that you can use when you're posting on Instagram. So what's included in my makeover is 5 reel covers, 3 carousels, and 5 Instagram highlights. But I always do include more. So when creating the carousels, it's not just hooks and lorem ipsum copy paste. It's actually content ideas that I've created just for you. So essentially, if you like those carousels that I made, and I made 5 of them, those 5 could be your first posts. Or if you like the reel covers I made, you can just use them and use them for your reels. So I don't create any reels, but I do reel covers and carousels. And the best part of all of this is I create a mock-up grid template for you. That way you have something to visualize and look at. This is what it looks like, where it has the profile with your new highlight covers, new pin post covers, and then it has the feed with what your feed could look like by using the new Canva templates I created for you. So essentially, you can basically use anything I give you, and it could be your first 6 posts. The next question I got is, somebody asked me, have I ever done a makeover for a travel or cruise Instagram account? Which actually I have. Recently, I did a Instagram makeover for a boutique travel agency. She is a travel agent underneath a larger travel agency, and she specializes in cruises, all-inclusives, and in weddings. So take a look at that one. I just posted this not too long ago, so hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I do makeovers for practically any creator, any business owner. You can look in the description of this video for more information on what my Instagram makeovers look like. All right, diving into the next question. This is actually a comment I got over on my Instagram, and I thought it was a great question. I wanted to make sure I answered it in this Q&A. So somebody asked me, what would you do if a client barely has any raw assets or none at all, and they're telling you to use stock photos, free stock photos? Is that possible? Can I do it? So I've actually been in this situation before. As a social media manager, I've worked with different business owners and creators who just don't have the time to be sending me photos or videos to edit. And they're just like, use stock photos, I'm sure you can find something. Now the disclaimer with this is, as much as stock photos and videos have come to be in 2025, there's so many good websites, which I'll include here, it's not everything. It does not replace somebody talking to you like this. It doesn't replace that genuine, relatable content. But there's a few things you can do. Create carousels that don't include photos or videos. You can do solid colors, have elements and graphics with the business's brand colors, which is super easy to do. You don't have to have them create content for it. But if you're talking about video, or if you want those BTS photos, there is one resource I highly recommend. It's completely free to use. It's called Dupe Photos, D-U-P-E Photos. And they have all their content on there is creator uploaded. It's free to use. It's sort of like this Pinterest aesthetic video and photos. They have a ton of them for B-roll, a ton of them for photos. I highly recommend it, but honestly, it's a lose-lose situation because you can use all the stock photos in the world and you might not be successful at the end of the day because people really just want to see that face-to-face content, that founder-led content, that real BTS, and you can't really recreate it through stock photos. So it's a great question. Try to use as much free stock photos as you can and encourage your business owner or brand or content creator to supplement that with as much as they can. All right, the next question I got is actually from my August coaching call. So every month I have a coaching call that's live where I answer you guys' questions and audit a bunch of accounts. And somebody asked me, what tool did you use to DM me when I commented on your post and sent me the link? So if you're not unsure with what this is, it's if you have a call to action in your post saying comment down below keyword and I'll send you the link or send you the information, and then if somebody comments on that post, they automatically get a link to their DMs. So this is through auto DM features in different websites. Personally, I use StanStore. StanStore is my link in bio tool that also is all of my services and products that people can buy, and it has a new auto DM and auto reply feature. This is similar to ManyChat. ManyChat is also somebody who does automations where they automatically send those links to people, but it's much more expensive. If you have a bigger account and you have lots of DMs to send, it will charge you per send. It's not a monthly flat fee. So I highly recommend looking at other ones like StanStore. I think Planoly has a new auto DM feature as well. So yep, that's kind of what it does. You set up automations, you set up the keyword, you can have up to 5 keywords per automation, but only 1 link. So highly recommend it. It's super easy for people who don't have the time to respond to a ton of comments. That's it for this month's Q&A. A little bit more simple this month, but feel free if you have any more questions or if you want my advice as a social media manager, comment it below and I'll make sure I include it in next month's Q&A.